This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 1586, an excerpt from the book, You've Got This, The Life-Changing Power of Trusting Yourself by Margie Warrell, and I'm Justin Malik. Welcome to Optimal Living Daily, or the OLD podcast, where I read to you from some of the best blogs I can find and get permission from, and sometimes books like today. But I'll keep this intro short and tell you about the author right after the excerpt, so for now, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. An excerpt from the book, You've Got This, The Life-Changing Power of Trusting Yourself by Margie Warrell. Growing up on a small dairy farm in rural Australia, I learned early that courage trumps confidence, as I mustered up my courage learning to ride my first horse as he towered over me, or at least it felt that way. Then a couple years later, I had to train the brave all over again as I mastered my second horse, a wild Brumby we won in a raffle who went from 0 to 100 miles per hour in 5 seconds flat. My lifelong lesson? Growth and comfort can't ride the same horse. Of course, if you've ever wished you were confident, you're not alone. The biggest hurdle we ever have to face are the fear-laden stories we spin ourselves about not having what it takes to achieve what we want. Mired in misgivings, many people tiptoe timidly through much of their lives, arriving safely at life's end with a large gap between the life they did live and the life they could have lived, if only they'd backed themselves more and doubted themselves less. Of course, we're all wired for caution, cognitively biased to overestimate the risks, underestimate ourselves, and focus more on what scares us, like being rejected or exposed as a fraud, than on what inspires us. Little wonder one of the biggest regrets of the dying is that they lived too safe and risked too little. Which begs the question, is it confidence we really need to forge meaningful careers and thrive in our lives? Or is it courage to take action amid our doubt, fears, and misgivings? Bill Marriott, the legendary hotelier who took the business his father had started as a 9-seat root beer stand and turned it into the world's largest hotel empire, believes it's the latter. During a fireside chat for Marriott's headquarters, I asked him what he'd learned about building confidence. He threw his head back and laughed. I've learned that I don't have as much as people think I have, he chuckled. You get confidence by doing and learning and making mistakes and fixing your mistakes. It's true. Confidence isn't built through knowing you can't fail. It's built through risking failure, daring to act with the very confidence we wished we had, and trusting ourselves that even if we fall short, we'll figure it out and be okay. Martin Seligman, a leader in the field of positive psychology, said that positive self-image by itself doesn't produce anything and cannot be sustained without action. In other words, you can't think yourself confident. Rather, as Seligman wrote, quote, a sustainable sense of security in oneself arises from positive and productive behavior, end quote. Ask anyone who's ever done anything worthwhile and they'll tell you that it wasn't confidence in their invincibility that fueled their endeavors. Rather, their desire to do something trumped their fear they'd fall short in their attempt, or in my case, as an aspiring equestrian, fall off my horse, which by the way I did many times. In short, their mission exceeded their fear, compelling them break ranks from comfort, time and time again. Sometimes it was semi-confident action, sometimes it was knot in the gut, knee-shaking, nervous action, but always action. As Prime Minister of New Zealand Jacinda Ardern said, quote, if you sit and wait to feel like you are the most confident person in the room, you are probably going to be left by yourself, end quote. So too it is for all of us. We cannot build the confidence we'd like sitting safely on our couch waiting for a thunderbolt of unstoppable self-belief to strike us from above. That's not to say confidence doesn't have its merits. However, with the exception of serial narcissists, confidence waxes and wanes. Waiting until you feel confident you cannot fall short before you take a brave leap toward your boldest aspirations in your work, relationships, and life can mean a long, long wait. Far more useful is to focus your energy on cultivating courage, or training the brave, as I did each time saddled up after a fall all those years ago. After all, courage is not dependent on being completely self-assured that you'll hit a bullseye every time. Rather, it's about daring to do something despite your misgivings or lack of mastery. As research has repeatedly found, people build confidence by adopting a growth mindset in which they give themselves permission to get better as they go along. First a lousy first draft, then a slightly less lousy second, then a half-decent third draft. No one writes a bestseller first time they put pen to paper. So if you've been waiting until you're 100% confident you know exactly what you are doing or have achieved Da Vinci-like mastery before you set out, Consider the hidden tax of letting your doubts call the shots on your career, on your relationships, on the value you are adding or failing to add for others, on ever unleashing your full brilliance on the world. Changing behaviors precedes changing self-perception. Rather than dwelling on all the reasons why not to take action, shift your focus onto your future desired outcome and then take some action, any action, toward it. It doesn't matter how small or insignificant your action is, it just matters that you reclaim the power you've previously given your doubts and fears. Then notice how you feel. Nervous? Perhaps, but definitely more empowered because you realize that the ground beneath you didn't open up and actually it wasn't so bad after all. And then tomorrow, repeat and continue every day thereafter until whatever once scared you no longer does, at which point it'll be time to raise your sights again. By deliberating, refocusing your attention onto what it is that you do want, it creates a subtle shift in your psychological state. Then by taking action toward it, you subconsciously affirm for yourself your commitment to achieving it. Courage begets confidence. Life rewards action. Only by daring to defy your doubts and act with the confidence you wished you had, can you ever realize how little reason you ever had to doubt yourself. Go on, be brave. You've got this. You just listened to an excerpt from the book, You've Got This, The Life-Changing Power of Trusting Yourself by Margie Warrell. And I'm going to share a little bonus content from her in just a sec, but first I'd like to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. It's hard to find that perfect gift for mom. Your mom likes to say that she already has everything she needs, but you'd still like to give her something meaningful to show her that you care. Have you heard about the Skylight Frame? It's a touchscreen photo frame you can email photos to anytime and anywhere so mom can see and share in all your favorite moments. I gave a frame to my mom and she's always adding pictures and I see it on display whenever I visit. Nowadays, staying in touch with those we love is more important than ever, and the Skylight photo frame is easy to set up. It can be done in under a minute. It was for me. Simply plug it in, use the touchscreen to connect to your wireless network, and enjoy. By the way, if you don't love your Skylight, they'll offer you a full refund. Now, as a special holiday offer, you can get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com/optimal and enter code OPTIMAL. That's right, to get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight frame, just go to skylightframe.com/optimal and enter code OPTIMAL. That's skylightframe.com/optimal. Thank you to Margie. She has a bonus manifesto that I got permission to share, so I will read that for you now. Here it goes. You are exactly where you're intended to be and possess all that's required to meet the demands of this day. Who you are is not your hurts from the past or fears for the future, not your doubts or struggles or the stories you've spun that have kept you from rising strong or daring to pursue your boldest aspirations. Right now, at this moment, your one task above all others is this. Trust in yourself. Trust that the power within you transcends all problems outside you. Trust that you are innately worthy, wholly adequate, and uniquely gifted for what tugs most at your heart. Trust the quiet whispers urging you toward the braver path, toward the highest vision and noblest purpose, for your one and only sacred life. Every day of your journey has prepared you for this one. So embrace your fears and fallibility. Embrace your hardships and heartaches. Embrace your unanswered questions, your impatience and uncertainty for what's ahead. Each hold a silent invitation to peel back the layers keeping you a stranger to yourself so that you may discover the depths of your true power and honor the brilliance of your potential still dormant within. The light you seek is within you. It requires only your trust. When you doubt yourself, you dim that light and shortchange the world. Breathe in faith. Breathe out fear. Breathe in faith again. You've got this, always. So thank you again to Margie. She's an international speaker on brave leadership and a best-selling author. Her new book, You've Got This, The Life-Changing Power of Trusting Yourself, is available now at margiewarrell.com. That's MargieWarrell. And I'll leave it there for today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here and listening to me and for subscribing to the show. And I'll be back tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.